Welcome to TileWare's presentation of Boundless, Immense Value. We're going to take a minute today and we're going to review with you our product guide addressing accessories and surface features. I do want to thank you, first of all, and let you know how grateful we are for your time and attention. I also want to explain the training icons that will assist you during the presentation, the homeowner icon, installer icon, and seller's icon. We have this check mark in the presentation, just in case your eyes wander off the page. We have a way to bring you back to where the conversation is. Let's begin. My name is David Scalise. I'm delighted to have this time with you today. Looking forward to spending this time together. Let's jump in. Let's talk about these values. Regarding homeowners, we're bringing basically beautiful styles, thoughtful functionality, and hygienic and simple maintenance products. For the installer, we're talking about fast, flexible, and friendly technologies that add significant value, profitability, with absolute success. In terms of sellers, we have an interesting and meaningful shower accessory story that's different. Also, very simple specification. This is helpful with the complexities associated with specification. And finally, we're emphasizing that all these products that we're going to be representing today are manufactured in the United States. So this is our Boundless Products Guide. And as I mentioned, we'll be addressing accessory and surface features. That's the theme of this product guide. At the bottom, we index for you product categories with page numbers, get you right to the point quickly. As you open the booklet, you will notice that on the inside cover, we illustrate a little blurb. And we're going to talk about that just basically right here at the beginning. We're addressing a thoughtfully conceived shower components offering. We simplify the design process, which is very helpful for designers and specifiers, but we're basically harmonizing the feel, the look and feel of this very important space. And what we're doing is we're talking about this tile shower concept. And so we have this shower accessory worksheet and bulleting quickly the categories of products: corner shelving, niches, curbing and knee walls, seating, and an adjacent product that we have called waterproof wall anchoring. And with waterproof wall anchoring, what we're basically providing is a waterproof anchoring technology that mates with a metal accessory. Though you won't see that in this presentation, we have those products available, but we're illustrating their adjacency as a technology within the tile industry. As we move down the page, we again bullet some information regarding the categories of products and page numbers, illustrating the finishes, and something that we call caps and finishes. This lets you know what finishes are available and the metal components that are part of this offering. And it's primarily these metal hooks right here. So let's jump in and summarize what we're trying to say here. This little drop in you will see throughout the presentation is a way for me to summarize what we're learning on each of these pages. So most importantly, Boundless is offering the most complete accessory offer in the industry. Not only a complete offering, but we're offering creative options for both sellers and installers. And most importantly, we're providing you as sellers a powerful story. You need a story to help people engage in the purchase of products. And we're excited to share these ideas with you. In terms of pages 4 and 5, we're going to introduce to you our corner shelves. And these are pie-shaped configurations. We're going to address for you the colors that are available. And then we're going to show you plain shelving and specification and model numbers associated with that, and pre-drilled shelving. Pre-drilled shelving relates to a hook feature, which we'll review in just a moment. Also, we want you to see the dimensions of these parts and a segment of the booklet that we call design themes and storage capacities. Throughout the presentation, you will notice that at the bottom or on the page, we have really clear graphics addressing the capacities of each of these accessory products. So I want to get into more detail about specification. In terms of selecting a shelf with a hook, we want you to know that that's two SKUs. You're going to have the shelving SKU, and then you're going to have the hook SKU. And we offer the hook in two cap styles. You can see here, the cap style is here and here. And we offer these hooks in 5 different finishes. I'll offer more information through the presentation to explain that more clearly. But right now, what's important is for you to understand that these items are sold individually, and to specify them, you must select them individually as well. To summarize, what we're doing that's unique is we're offering 2-for-1 utilities when we integrate hook features. With regard to installers, all these installation systems are very familiar to installers in the industry. So the workflow should be, easy to understand. In terms of helpful graphics, we're working very hard so you can help the customer discern their needs more clearly. And we think that that's very helpful. We spend a lot of time to illustrate these graphics clearly, so we know that they're helpful in sharing and closing deals. Now, we're going to go to page 6 and 7, which talks about another series of corner shelving that is more unique. These are our rectangular and L-shaped configurations. We're going to go right down to the design themes and storage capacities to begin. And I want you to understand these subtle differences. What we're highlighting now in black is the stacked look. These are traditional methods for installing. But because we offer these staggered looks, we're able to do something that's very unique. Now, what's going on here? We're able to do these staggered looks because we finish on 2 sides. So there are no right or left facing parts. But now what you can do is you can create a concept that we call share spaces. This allows you to personalize the shower more specifically for people that may be sharing the space. In this way, we're able to show you how you can address one shelf for one person, and then you can integrate a hook feature. What's cool about this product and what's cool about the staggered look is you're able to basically move these hook features out of the way of the lower shelves. So this way, what is hanging here doesn't interfere with what's below it. And we think that's very thoughtful. And in terms of what are we doing that's unique with rectangular and L-shaped shelving, we're basically offering significantly more space, not only on the shelf, but more movable space for the user. We're also addressing this concept of finished 2 sides, which is a theme that's throughout all of our products associated with Boundless. And then we've just illustrated one of the very unique designer stories that you now can leverage. And we find that if you engage your customer more specifically in understanding what their needs are, I mean, how many people share the space as an example? Do you have a lot of containers? Do you have objects that hang with a rope? If you engage your customer in these kind of questions, then you'll begin to see how these products become very helpful. More specifically, we want you to know that these products are easy to clean and sanitize. They're edge bonded in terms of how they install with thinset. And then we want you to also notice that they have this thin profile. This is basically nominally a 1/2 inch thickness. So one of the things that occurs in the tile industry when we use tile related products, sometimes stacking all these materials on top of each other with waterproofing and substrates, the material gets very heavy and thick looking, but you don't have that product problem here. As I mentioned previously too, these rectangular configurations, in this case the L shape, hugs the wall, giving the user more space. And as you can see, it offers 2 times more storage than a traditional pie-shaped shelf. We're very successful with these products. However, when we feature up these products with a hook, wow, now we're providing something that's really valuable. Uh, we're, we're illustrating dual utility, but we're also providing a method for the installer that's super easy to attach. This is just basically a piece of hardware and a machine screw that you attach with a screwdriver. So it's very easy to integrate. Relative to the consumer story, we find that your customers won't, people don't naturally ask questions about features like this. They must be presented to the consumer. And so when you show the consumer this option, it just makes perfect sense. And so telling the story about how to integrate uh, items that hang with a rope into the shower, organizing it in a way that's meaningful and then also beautiful is very helpful. Um, Definitely will enable you to close the deal and sell these products more readily. We have this TWG D015 display. This is what we call our display pod. It illustrates all 4 corner shelves in all 4 colors. So takes up very little room. It's very useful. Now we're going to jump now to the niche program. We're going to start the niche program by addressing the preformed niche boxes that integrate with our trim components. So these 3 boxes from Schluter, not the smaller 6 by 12 box, this Wheatie box, and these Noble boxes. So the product integrates like this. We call the program pre-cut niche trim. And so what we do is we take a 12 by 12 preform niche box, and with our trim components, we're able to create a look that we call the flush look, the overhang look, or the overhang with hook look. Now we're able to scale this with a 12 by 20 box and a 12 by 28 box, and rotating the rectangular box configurations, the 20 by 12 and the 28 by 12. So in the end, we get these functional utilities here on the right. Summarizing 15 variations times 4 colors, 60 options. What's the big deal here? For the installer, we're showing you products that literally install in minutes versus hours. And we're also proposing a very simple sales proposition. 2 SKUs. We're going to get into those details in just a moment. So let's talk about that. On pages 8 and 9 in the product guide, we're going to begin to address the Boundless niche program. So at the top here, we illustrate 12 by 12. That's basically addressing the size of the preformed niche box. And we're then saying pre-cut niche trim riser kit. So that's what this is. This is the riser. So we want you to know how these 2 product pages work towards specification, because they work together. So if you're looking for this end product look here, what you have to do is specify a riser and a bottom shelf. We sell the riser and bottom shelves separately, so you must specify them that way. We're illustrating here that this is the exploded view of that, and this is the end result. So if you want this look here, an overhang shelf, you must specify a riser kit, a bottom shelf, and you get this result. Again, we have the same scenario. If you're going to create this result, you specify a riser kit, a bottom shelf with a pre-drilled hole, and a hook feature. and then you get this look. So to summarize, basically showing you in the niche program 3 shelving options: flush, overhang, and an overhang with a hook. We're also enabling the installer to install them different ways. We have what we call a flush look, and what we're doing is we're taking the edge of the trim and we're bringing it flush with the face of the tile. But optionally, you can create what we call a reveal, as we're showing you here. So this offers a lot of dimension and opportunity, design opportunity, but the emphasis toward the reveal is that there's no cutting. If you install with a reveal, you create a very simple installation scenario. So that moves us to pages 10 and 11, where we're going to address the simple sales logic and design options with this program. So the most important thing we want you to know here is that we sell bottom shelves separately from riser kits, and this is the reason why. So these bottom shelves can work with bull nose trim solutions, metal trim solutions, or a miter solutions. And because these scenarios are, active design solutions, we sell the bottom shelves separately. This way you can use our bottom shelf with any of these trim options. So that you can buy the flush, the overhang, or the overhang with a pre-drilled hole for a hook for any niche application that wants to integrate other trim solutions. But if you want to combine our products, we want to make sure that you understand how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. These items compose the riser, and they couple with a bottom shelf. And so we want to show you what that packaging looks like. So you will see this SKU that contains all of the riser components, and this SKU that contains the bottom shelf components. So you can follow this logic throughout all these different scenarios, emphasizing again that if you're going to select a bottom shelf with a pre-drilled hole, you have to select a hook feature. So what's the summary here? I want to introduce this because we find out that consumers really love products that are made in the United States. As I mentioned, these products are manufactured in North Carolina. Easy to customize. So no matter the condition, these products are easy to manipulate, easy to cut, easy to arrange. This provides the installer a lot of flexibility and customization opportunities. Also, we want to let you know that we have tons of design options here. So whether you're using bottom shelves only or you're integrating our complete pre-cut niche trim program, we have tons of scenarios, tons of sizes that make this useful, from a design standpoint. So on pages 12 and 13, we're going to be talking about our, a 12 by 28 preform niche box we call our symmetrical 1313. And what we want to emphasize here is these graphical images that are on the right. We find that we get this question all the time. Do these niche products support Costco containers? So we want you to know that we've designed them specifically this particular style to facilitate the answer of that question. We also want you to know that when you're integrating, these pre-cut programs, there's no cutting for the installer. This means you pull it out of the box, you mix up some thin set, and you integrate them right into the box. Super simple. We also want you to know here that we have this number, and you'll see these on all the niche product pages. But this 13 represents the finish height of this box. So when we say 1313, we're telling you that this particular pre-cut niche trim kit will finish to 13 on the lower shelf and 13 on the upper shelf. Now, let's talk about on pages 14 and 15, we're going to introduce, horizontal looks. Want you to see here how we inverted the number and illustrating the 20 by 12 first to illustrate this is a horizontal configuration. We're showing you horizontal options regarding pre-cuts. We want to emphasize again, no saw cutting, easy layouts, easy math, 10 minutes or less installation for this aspect of the trim, very fast and efficient. And again, emphasizing the importance of these graphics. I keep pounding these graphical reference because we find that customers don't naturally understand these capacities. And we're kind of exaggerating these graphics so the customer is super clear regarding their capacity. So we think this is really helpful, and it helps the customer understand exactly the potential of these particular kits and whether which kit is best for them. So that's the answer to that. In terms of pages 16 and 17, we are trying to emphasize the specification piece associated with the hook features, organize any personal care product. And so we're going to detail what that means. These are the items in the shower that we refer to as personal care. These items need organization. And so we're showing you that this is very simple to attach, just with a Phillips screwdriver. These add features are so important. If you talk about them, you sell them. Here are some images that illustrate how these are actually utilized. So we're going to take a minute now and we're going to talk about TileWare versus Boundless series hooks. So we have a series of hooks that we call our Promessa series hooks. And you will find Promessa series hooks in this red banner catalog that contains our metal accessories. And so we offer this waterproof anchor and we offer this trim. And it produces this result. But we want you to see the difference. So in the Boundless catalog, that's this green banner product guide, we illustrate a different hook. Though the scale and dimension of these are very similar, that's intentional. We want the look to be similar looking. The application is completely different. This is simply attached to the, to a shelf with a screw. And though they look alike and their utility is very similar, they're very different products. So we wanted to make sure that you had a clear understanding of that. You can see that in the model numbers. Now we're going to address the TWGD 023 metal finishes board. And we want to use this board for a couple of different reasons. One, it illustrates our current metal finish offering, but it also describes something that we call cap styles. And these items that have a flat cap, we characterize as our contemporary style. And they look like this. And these items that have this more decorative cap, we characterize as traditional. And so what we're trying to do between contemporary and traditional is connect your customer to their plumbing trim. If the shower escutcheon is simple, go contemporary. If the shower escutcheon is more decorative, go traditional. So we also want you to see too that we've embedded into the graphics these QR codes. These QR codes are characterized by a TileWare logo. So you can get this catalog, which addresses our metal accessories, and our Boundless logo, which addresses our surface features. So now we're going to go to page 18 and 19, and we're going to address both our niche trim strip and curbing. So on page 18, we're showing you a 4 by 72 inch niche trim strip. And essentially, this was designed to address what we call wall-to-wall trim applications. The best way to think about this piece of trim is like a 72-inch long piece of bull nose. You situate the bull nose on the bottom and on the top, and you basically create a very simple trim solution. But you can also make these kind of customized rectangular niches with this trim, using the same trim to create the rise and create either the top or the bottom, simply cutting this to facilitate that opening. Now we'll begin discussing the floating shelf. This shelf was specifically designed to work with Schluter Quadex. So if you have a scenario where you want to integrate an intermediate shelf with similar to this, but without all these holes. So the shelf is basically 3 7/16 by 12 and allows us to tuck the shelf in behind the Quadex material. Very specific application, but if you want that look, we can achieve that with a solid surface application. In terms of curbing, we offer two sizes, 72 and 84. And the 72 addresses both curbs, thresholds, and knee walls. And then the 84s is designed primarily for jams. This has been really fantastic material because it provides a lot of flexibility. In both scenarios, we're showing you how you can use the niche trim strip to address applications like this continuous wall surface. And then we're also showing you how you can see how to integrate our curbing so those surfaces match. To summarize, we're illustrating wall-to-wall applications. We're also providing a way for you to customize any niche application. And we're providing a ton of flexibility in terms of applications across the whole spectrum of the shower, addressing corner shelving, niches, knee walls, jams, all that we've discussed thus far. The importance of having hygienic surfaces, which this product is super easy to clean, efficient to install, and flexible regarding design applications. If you wanted to integrate mosaic material or you wanted to integrate field tile, both work perfectly. Actually, what this material provides is a way to more simply address the integration of these materials, because these box openings that we're showing you here and here are always dimensionally sound and the same. So we're also providing a way for you to integrate LED lighting, as you can see here. Any light system will work with us, no problem. Also, we're providing what we would refer to as reliable results, consistent results that will repeat themselves again and again. In terms of durability, renewability, clean with anything, it responds really well to cleaning, but also you can renew this surface with simple sanding pads. In terms of easy to cut, wet sols, we can cut it dry, we can cut it with carbide, tons of flexibility. We also want you to know that we're trying to illustrate an idea where our trim acts like bullnose. You're familiar with that concept, but this is basically bullnose for niches. So, emphasizing the importance, no sealers are required with this material. These products are manufactured within a couple hairs of being the same every time. So when you're integrating them, you can have the confidence and reliability that they're always going to be the same. We launched this program in June of 2023, and we have had no problems. Also, we're going to introduce a concept now that we call the multi-box capability. You should expect the same kind of performance. This is a great product with real reliability. What you're looking at here was an application that was installed literally in an hour. And when you think about that, that's pretty impressive. But we're also wanting to connect you to these metal accessory ideas that we have. We think this is really important because in this particular application, not only did the user want these boxes, the lower box to be used as a footrest and individual boxes for members of the family, but they wanted these metal accessories. But what's important about these metal accessories is they're non-penetrating utilities that will not void waterproofing. And so you get this kind of whole story with TileWare. We're going to show you how we combine two 12 by 28 niche boxes to create this look. And so what we did is combine the two boxes and waterproofed in the center. And then we provide some instructions in this product guide. We show you if you want to build this, then what you do is you combine those two boxes to equal 46.25 inches. And when you do that, you simply buy 4 of these green model kits with a bottom shelf, and you're able to assemble this in less than 30 minutes. Not only are we introducing a new concept regarding modular design, but we provide a way for these to be installed very efficiently. Plus, it's creative. It's creative for not only the designer, well, let's start with the homeowner. Not only the homeowner, the designer, but the installer. In terms of our Boundless seat, we're going to show you here that we have this true 18-inch floating seat. We sell it a couple different ways. We sell the seat only, but we also sell it with what we refer to as our flange. So we couple the seat and the flange together to create this kit. So we index using these tabs on the backside, but we also show you here how we're sloping this portion of the metal so we can evacuate water from the seat. We're going to get into more details of that shortly. We also have another product that works alongside of our anchor flange called a 2-3 centimeter aluminum support plate. This aluminum support plate is addressing materials that may not have structural integrity, like a crema marfil or negro machina, or maybe a travertine. Thin setting this directly is very easily executed. All right, to summarize, we're illustrating a floating seat design, a true design. We're pre-sloping that seat, and then we're providing a utility that has no human weight limitation. And this thing is so strong that we can say that. So let's get into some of the details associated with that. One of the things that we're really trying to do is eliminate bacteria that may grow in the back of the seat. Let's say for some reason you pitch the seat the wrong way. Instead of evacuating water off the seat, you kind of pitch it toward the wall, and then the seat is kind of holding water there. That's a catastrophic failure for bacteria growth. So we're trying to stop that. But also, this anchor flange adjusts for something that almost all construction environments have, out of square walls. So we address that, and the anchor kind of moves in and out, addressing those variabilities. Finally, we designed this surface here. We've enlarged this surface, providing 5/8 of an inch. So we're filling that, what we call the trough, with thin set. Ridiculously strong application and very easy to install. On the underside of the seat, we're showing you that we have attached to the acrylic solid surface a stainless steel support plate. This allows us to sanitize and clean the bottom very simply. Also increases its strength. So we have a stainless steel underside. We're also showing you that you can cut this with something called a mop disc. And so the mop disc is a grinding disc that will allow you to cut both the acrylic and the steel at the same time. And then we're illustrating the flange options so you can pre-slope. Now, this is a view of the underside of the seat. These details are really not visible from the top, but we're also showing you how the flange is set in such a way that creates more support. We also want to show you here, by looking at this line, how we've flushed the seat with this row of tile. and our instructions provide those details so that can happen every time, and that's pretty easy to do. Finally, we want you to see when you dry water rapidly in this environment, you reduce the development of biofilms. The real advantage with acrylic solid surface is how the surface temperature changes instantly when warm water is applied. This is a real benefit. Also, the transition between the tile wall and the acrylic seat will require a silicone caulk. Finally, not only are we illustrating a true floating seat design, but one that is reliably strong and waterproof. Now we're going to review the last few pages of the product guide where we illustrate guidelines and standards. This represents the installation instructions associated with these systems and products. We also want you to know that we include wedge spacers in every kit. This ensures that every pre-cut niche trim kit is spaced properly according to our instructions. On the opposing page, we include details regarding modular design. So every pre-cut niche trim kit can be converted into a modular design, and we illustrate that here. We provide dimensional details that allow you to achieve one of these design configurations. So we do that for the 12 by 12, the 12 by 20, the 12 by 28, the 20 by 12, and also the 28 by 12. What this program is doing is providing the most consumer options ever related to accessory and surface features. But we're also providing real time and material benefits to the installer. Real benefits that turn a niche product over much faster and much more reliably with very consistent looks. This is what we mean when we talk about how this program will improve not only the scalability, which is your potential to sell, but will provide products that will more reliably satisfy your customers. Plus, we provide details that are thoughtful and inventive to add unique value, unlike anybody else in this particular segment of the marketplace. So we're going to close by reviewing how acrylic solid surface is a high performance super material. We're going to talk about the benefits associated with this material. So first thing we want you to know, it's made in the United States. These products will be offered in 4 colors, all matte. We have this color chip box, so you can share these colors with your clients. We want you to also know that acrylic solid surface is a through body material, which means color runs from the bottom all the way through the top. Also, acrylic solid surface is non-porous and water resistant. This is a material that will not absorb water or decay in wet environments. Regarding durability and resiliency, this is a unique characteristic of acrylic solid surface. This material will not easily break and has a strong impact resistance. And this is relevant when we transport this material. We did some testing on the strength of our corner shelving, and we took a weight that was 305 pounds and placed it on one of our rectangular corner shelves, and we had stellar performance. We don't know exactly how much weight it will hold, but we know it holds at least 305 pounds, which is sufficient weight to hold containers. When you eliminate chemical sealers, you eliminate maintenance associated with that product for a lifetime. Anytime you use a natural stone product that requires chemical sealing, you should be doing that semi-annually, certainly annually. But we also find out that that doesn't happen. And when that doesn't happen, then we begin to see the material change color, bacteria grows inside the natural stone material, and creates an environment that is unhealthy. Acrylic solid surface is hygienic and easy to sanitize because it's non-porous and bacteriostatic. These characteristics will inhibit the growth and reproduction of mold and bacterial biofilms, making it an excellent material for tile shower applications. Regarding flexible and permanent adhesive bonding, we suggest any thin set that meets the standard of 118.4 or 118.15, but uniquely, we can use any kind of SMP type adhesive. Regarding cutting acrylic solid surface, it's pretty flexible. You can use wet saws, angle grinders, and chop saws. But this is one of the great characteristics of acrylic solid surface is its renewable surface capacity. Because color runs through the entire thickness, the surface can be fully restored using these non-woven pads. Also, if installers have some reason to resurface this material, super easy with orbital sanders, basically 240 grit pads with a non-woven. Acrylic solid surface is a really easy product to maintain. Remove difficult stains like this with a non-woven pad, but you can also use any cleaner without harming the material. Finally, you can really sanitize this material very simply. I want you to know that this is a product that's used in hospitals and restaurants. It's used in these environments because it's so easy to care for. We also want you to know that, as we mentioned previously, that it can be used in interior and exterior applications. Thank you for listening to TileWare's presentation of Boundless, Accessory, and Surface Features. If you would like to become a member, please visit us at tilewareproducts.com. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Rejoice in the Lord always. I say it again, rejoice. Philippians 4:4.